What about the Ayurvedic tips for nosebleeds? Well, nosebleeds come from trauma to the nose. They can come from extreme dryness in the nasal passages, nasal polyps, high blood pressure, or going to a high altitude. It's typical for people to get nosebleeds in the early winter when they turn the heating system on and it dries out the air, making the nasal passages dry, and then they crack and they get some bleeding. Well, if that happens, put some ghee up the nose to keep that moist. Nosebleeds in general are primarily a pitta disorder because all bleeding is hot. It comes from hot and sharp qualities for the most part. And look at this fancy name for nose bleeding called Nasagata Rakta Pitta. So it sounds like a really complex word there, but let's break it down. Rakta just means blood. So Pitta in Rakta means that there's hot, sharp qualities in Rakta. And Nasagata just means nose going. So it's basically blood, Pitta type blood going to the nose. That's all it means. But it's in another language, Sanskrit, so it sounds fancy. Basically, if you get a bloody nose, then the blood's coming out the nose, and there could be various causes. I mean, there could be high pitta causing blood flow to hot blood moving upward in the body, or like I said, the dryness of the passages as well. So what do you do if you get a nosebleed? Apply a cool compress. Cold depresses circulation and causes vasoconstriction, which stops bleeding. Heat increases bleeding. Cold decreases bleeding. You can pinch the bridge of the nose and breathe through the mouth so that the air doesn't keep irritating the blood and that the blood has a chance to clot. You don't want to tilt the head back or lie down because that could cause blood to flow into the throat. And if you are bleeding, if you're getting nosebleeds due to dry nasal passages, put a humidifier in your house. And as I mentioned earlier, put some ghee on the inside of your nostrils. Ghee has a hemostatic property. That means that it stops blood flow. And you want to avoid creating too much heat. So if you have a nosebleed, you're not going to do hot yoga or something, or do something that's going to really, heat you up, because that's going to increase the bleeding. Instead, use astringent cooling foods. Astringent foods like cranberry and pomegranate, those foods are also cooling. Generally, follow a pitta pacifying diet if pitta is the cause. Any hemostatic will help with nosebleeds too. Manjista, Amalaki are two examples of hemostatic, meaning stopping blood. Hemo means blood, static means stop or not changing. So to cause the blood to stop, that's what hemostatic means, or anti-inflammatory.